जयगुरु भाई सुना जाउछि। जयगुरु सुना जाउछि।
हाँ हाँ जय
मोना मोरा चाहे देवा को सारा श्री श्री रंग पाया मोना मोरा चाहे देवा को सारा श्री श्री रंग पाया श्री चरण रेणु मुंडे बोले बाको श्री चरण रेणु मुंडे बोले बाको मन मोहे अधीरा मन मोहे अधीरा रंग पाया रंग पाया श्री चरण सोधा पान करिबाको व्याकुलिता होए प्राण श्री चरण सोधा पान करिबाको व्याकुलिता होए प्राण आखि निराधारे धोई देवा पाए आखि निराधारे धोई देवा पाए सेवेनी छंदा चरण सेवेनी छंदा चरण नारुहा प्राण ठाकुर धीरे नारुहा प्राण ठाकुर मन मोरा चाहे सेवा को सारा श्री रंग पाया तेरी बापू सादा कौन छाने निरंतर आखी मोरा चाहे तेरी बापू सादा कौन छाने निरंतर कंठ मोरा चाहे गाइबा को प्रभु कंठ मोरा चाहे गाइबा को प्रभु श्री नाम धाम गोरा श्री नाम धाम गोरा प्रभु निवेदन मोर प्रभु निवेदन मोर मन मोर चाहे देवा को सारा श्री रंग जाना में काला साथी का तुमने मोरा जनमी जनमी यह पारा काला साथी का तुमने मोरा तुमको न कही घरे कहे तुमको न कही घरे कहे दुख जहा हृदयारा दुख जहा हृदयारा दिया पदाते बाधिकारा पदाते बाधिकारा मन मोरा चाहे देवा को सदा श्रीरंग पाया भुक्ति मुक्ति दाता दया रस करा प्रणति मुक्ति करा भुक्ति मुक्ति दाता दया रस करा प्रणति मुक्ति करा अधमा जोगा गुणरा बोले अधमा जोगा गुणरा बोले कले बने माते पारा कले बने माते पारा मागे वरसना जोड़ी कारा मागे वरसना जोड़ी कारा मन मोर चाहे देवी बापू सदा श्री श्रीरंग पाया चरण रेणु मुंडे पड़े बाबो श्री चरण रेणु मुंडे पड़े बाबो मन मोहरे अधीरा मन मोहरे अधीरा गंगा पाया गंगा पाया गंगा पाया
জয়গুরু। অন্তর দেবতা সহে হৃদয় সিংহাসনে বস অন্তর দেবতা সহে হৃদয় সিংহাসনে বস तुमार रूप श्री नयने हेरी है तुमार रूप श्री नयने हेरी है करुणामय टूटिब मन परास टूटिब मन परास हृदय दुआर खोली है केते आशा मने भरी हृदय दुआर खोली है केते आशा मने भरी बसी अछु परा जागर जाली है बसी अछु परा जागर जाली है करुणामय मुखे जय गुरु बोली मुखे जय गुरु बोली सराग सहग जेते साइतिछि हृदगते सराग सहग जेते साइतिछि हृदगते ढाली देवी तुम श्रीपद प्रांते हे ढाली देवी तुम श्रीपद प्रांते हे करुणामय प्रेम भक्ति सहिते प्रेम भक्ति सहिते केते कालु एही परी है नामटिया सरा करी केते कालु एही परी है नामटिया सरा करी असरा असरा पसरा धरी है असरा असरा पसरा धरी है करुणामय बसी अछु अनुसरी बसी अछु अनुसरी संसार जंजाले पड़िले दुख तापे मोरे सड़ी संसार जंजाले पड़ी है दुख तापे मोरे सड़ी चाहू चाहू बेड़ा जाऊची गड़ी है चाहू चाहू बेड़ा जाऊची गड़ी है करुणामय अवसाद आसे घेरी अवसाद आसे घेरी तुम्हें मो जीवन बंधु है मन आकाशर इंदु तुम्हें मो जीवन बंधु है मन आकाशर इंदु तृषा कातर मु चातकी परा है तृषा कातर मु चातकी परा है करुणामय ढाल कृपा बारी बिंदु ढाल कृपा बारी बिंदु शरण रक्षक बोली है तुम नामे पड़े हुरी शरण रक्षक बोली है तुम नामे पड़े हुरी मोलागी से नाम न जाओ भूली है नो लागी से नाम न जाओ भूली है करुणामय करो সহজে অৰি
বন্ধন মোচন পূজ্য বর গুণহীন মতি সগুণাধিপতি ভবভীরু জনে সত তম্বরম ভব ভীরু জনে সত তম্বরম প্রণমামি গুরু সেবা কল্পতরু প্রণমামি গুরু সেবা কল্পতরু।
জয় গুরু। কিয়ে প্রভু পড়ে হেব তুম সরে কি থরে দেখি দেলে বন হুয়ে ছড়ি কিয়ে প্রভু পড়ে হেব তুম সরি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি থরে দেখি দেলে বন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি উভা দিব্য সিংহাসনে বন কুসুম ভূষণে উভা দিব্য সিংহাসনে বন কুসুম ভূষণে অতুলন সে রূপ মাধুরী কি অতুলন সে রূপ মাধুরী কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কিয়ে প্রভু পড়ে হেব তুম সরি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি কুঙ্কুমরাকে রঞ্জিত সে পদ যুগল ভ্রমর ভ্রমরে ফাଳେ সতে কি কবল কুঙ্কুমরাকে রঞ্জিত সে পদ যুগল ভ্রমর ভ্রমরে ফাଳେ সতে কি কবল কটি তটে শ্বেত বাস বক্ষে শোভে উপবিত কটি তটে শ্বেত বাস বক্ষে শোভে উপবিত লাবণ্য বলসে তনু মন নিয়ে কি লাবণ্য বলসে তনু মন নিয়ে হরি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কিয়ে প্রভু পড়ে হেব তুম সরি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি থরে দেখি দেলে মন হুয়ে ছড়ি কি গন্ধ চন্দনর বিন্দু ললাটে প্রকাশে উইছি চন্দ্রমা সতে পুনি আকাশে गन्ध चन्दनर बिन्दु ललाटे प्रकाशे उइछि चन्द्रमा सते पुने आकाशे कुञ्चित घन कुन्तल गण्डमण्डली मञ्जुळ कुञ्चित घन कुन्तल गण्डमण्डली मञ्जुळ कोटि कन्दर पजिणा से मधुर सिरिकी कोटि कन्दर पजिणा से मधुर सिरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी किए प्रभु पड़े हेब तुम सरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी कण्ठे रुद्राक्षर माला बक्षरे लम्बिछि करुणा चाहाणी भक्त मनकु किणुछि कण्ठे रुद्राक्षर माला बक्षरे लम्बिछि करुणा चाहाणी भक्त मनकु किणुछि सुधा बोल श्रीमुखरु रंगबथोली अधरु सुधा बोल श्रीमुखरु रंगबथोली अधरु पड़ुछि कि कृपा मधु झरिकी रे झरिकी पड़ुछि कि कृपा मधु झरिकी रे झरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी किए प्रभु पड़े हेब तुम सरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी ए जीवन बीती जाऊ तुम सेवा करी तुम नाम गाई नेत्रो निर पड़ु छरी ए जीवन बीती जाऊ तुम सेवा करी तुम नाम गाई नेत्रो निर पड़ु छरी कृपा करी गुरुदेव देई श्री चरण नाभ कृपा करी गुरुदेव देई श्री चरण नाभ करपति भव सिंधु पारिकी हे पारिकी करपति भव सिंधु पारिकी हे पारिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी किए प्रभु पड़े हेब तुम सरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी उभा दिव्य सिंहासने वन कुसुम भूषणे उभा दिव्य सिंहासने वन कुसुम भूषणे अतुलन से रूप माधुरी की थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी किए प्रभु पड़े हेब तुम सरिकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी थरे देखिदेले मन हुए छोरीकी जय गुरु।
जयगुरु।
Sadhguru Swami Nikamananda Upadesamrita, page 129, Daily Spiritual Practices. Rise from bed chanting God's name early in the morning. On the bed, pray, "O God, the world of action is in front of me. Now I have to leap into the sea of actions to face insurmountable challenge of duty. Give me the strength of body and mind so that I can accomplish my duties and responsibilities properly and flawlessly. Let me not forget you even in the most alarming whirlpool of actions." In the ancient time, there was the provision for all the followers of Sanatana Dharma to get up from bed early in the morning by chanting the Sanskrit hymn, but that has now disappeared due to the disastrous effect of the present age. However, you offer at his feet the feelings of your heart, blended with deep yearning and devotion. Your actions will be fruitful. Your inner feelings expressed in any language must reach him, because he is Bhavagrahi, the acceptor of feelings. Then you perform your duties throughout the day. Take care that there is no scope for any lapse in your duties and no one is harmed by your behavior and actions. Moreover, ensure that your mind is not agitated by hypocritical behavior of others. You should neither be the cause of anxiety of another, nor you should tolerate anybody's unjust oppression. Take suitable remedial actions on the path of justice. Dereliction of duty is weakness, hence it is a sin. Make truth the ornament of your body, regulated life the companion of heart, simplicity the natural filling of mind. If you face any obstacle, chant repeatedly Jayaguru Mahamantra, the great Nama, with deep yearning. You will then gain strength and calmness of heart. Then, on finishing the day's work, while retiring to bed, analyze and examine in your mind all actions of the entire day. See if you have committed any lapse or deviation from duties anywhere. You then apologize at his feet for your lapses and pray, "O Lord, I am mentally very unsteady. In spite of my endeavor, I have committed several mistakes amid my actions during the day. O Lord, give me strength so that I shall be able to overcome all obstacles by dint of your strength and power, and there will be no opportunity for the repetition of all such mistakes. Therefore, so long as you are not asleep, you form his image in your mind and chant his nama. Then fall asleep. Take care that no other thought should occupy your mind." Istanista, sincerity towards Ishta. God has innumerable names and forms. One may call him in any name and think him in any form, but will ultimately attain the same state, since various names and forms aim at the same entity. There is absolutely no difference. His eternal formless entity is present behind all names and forms. So one may take any name and form for realization. For that reason, one may take shelter of any name and form which is palatable to him. There is no fixed principle that any particular name or form is only to be followed, but only thing needed is strong sincerity and deep devotion for name and form which one adheres to. Without total commitment and firm devotion, there will be no result if one vacillates between this nama today and that nama tomorrow. So the first and foremost principle of Sanatana Dharma is Istanista. One may comfortably meditate on human form of God, He has enacted human roles by taking birth in human forms. Therefore, the thought and meditation of his divine form and human form is equally fruitful. Again, if you like, you may think him in the form of a saint because he manifests himself in saints. The saintliness of a saint is nothing but the expression of his divine entity. But I tell you one thing, when you follow any great man, you never remain anchored to his external form and cover. It's the fleeting harness to him. If you sincerely follow the path he has shown and endeavor to realize the essence of truth he has preached to the world, simply by worshipping his idol and offering incense, arti, offering of fire with devotion, sugar and banana, etc., thrice a day, it will bear no fruit. You will remain in the same darkness as before. On the whole, I tell you to pay more attention to inner sadhana than to outward sadhana because it will accomplish the liberation of soul. See, nowadays people have become so embedded to mundane life that they never think of Parakala, the life after death. They have even lost faith in the existence of life hereafter. The lifespan of an individual may be 50 or 60 or at best 100 years. Still, one thinks that he has come to the world to live here forever and spreads the network of pressing worldly activity to assert his superiority over the weak. He is also lost in the ceaseless effort to amass wealth and worldly prosperity, resorting to lies and hypocrisies. But such people never realize that they have to one day forsake all these material possessions and go to an unknown kingdom empty handed on leaving everything else. These things lie in the inexhaustible store of the true owner, God, as before. But in between, all the efforts based on ego to grab everything will go in vain. In spite of noticing people dying in front of their eyes, some people think that they are permanent dwellers here. What a surprise! So the thought of death is highly useful in the life of a spiritual practitioner. Jayu.
Jayaguru. Nilachal Saraswata Sangha Puri, America Saraswata Sangha 996 Sangha Puja report. Date March 1st, 2026. Palia, Silpi, Pallavima and Chinmayma. Attendance. The link to the attendance sheet is available on AMSAS website. Adhibasa Puja, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Adhibasa Puja was held on February 28 at Nikamo Shruti Mandira. After Shruta Bandhana, Sangha Sevaka 18th year, part 2 and Mahapurusha Prasanga was read, followed by Namo Kirtana and closing of Asana. Morning session, March 1st, 7:15 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. The morning session of the puja started at 7:15 a.m. with Pratikya. Bhakti Ma sang Aji e Subha Prabhate Kantha Bhari and Arpita Ma sang Arati Gheno He Bandhana Hruda Chandana. During that time, all the devotees joined the puja at Nikamo Smriti Mandira or via teleconference. Sanujit Bai did puja archana and offered arati to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj. Smita Bai Ma led Bandai Guru Charana and Shrota Bandhana. After Shrota Bandhana, Sonali Ma read Shree Shree Guru Gita Sloka 56. Biswajit Bhai led Parichaya Patra Patha, followed by Swamalini Pratna and Bhakta Adhibasa Nirmana Pratana. Sweta Ma read Sangha Sevaka 24th year part 3, where Pratana Karika Prati tells our goal should be to connect with Shree Shree Thakur. The practice will help us to get victory over sorrow and anxiety. In this context, there is a sloka in Bhagavad Gita where Sri Krishna tells Arjuna to be his devotee. It says that we need to practice, pray, and meditate to get deeply connected to him. It tells us about the importance of selfless service and loving devotion to attain wisdom and cleansing of consciousness. After Sangha Sevaka Patha, Pallavi invited Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj and Bhaktas to attend the second session. The first session was concluded with Jayaguru Mahanama Kirtana. Balya Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur Maharaj. All the Bhaktas were served with prasada. Second session, 9:45 am to 11:55 am. The second session of the puja started at 9:45 am with Pratikya. Bani Ma sang Thore Bansi Bajao Kanheire and Sukanya Ma sang Hruda Mandire Tuma Pai Muje Sajai Rakhichi Asana songs. Asana was opened with Bhava Bandana Mochana Pranama Gana. Shivani Ma sang Chira Banchita Tume Priyatama Bandana songs. Smita Rema led Parichapatra Patha, followed by Udita Ma singing Vishwapati Pranama. Sushri Ma read Nikama Upadesa, page 127 to 129, Mamekam Saranam Braja. The discussion was about faith and surrender as the most important part in the life of sadhakas. Aradhana Ma read Pancha Sannyasi Sisya, which was about the life of Santi Ma and her devotion towards Thakura. She opened a widow ashram at Kasi and was leading all the responsibilities. Even when she was unwell at the later stage of her life, she was an inspiration to others. Vrindavan Bhai read minutes of the last Sangha Puja session report. Milu Ma sang Prathana Sangita, Dunia Dekha Ku Akhi Achi Moro. Lipsita Ma read English translation of Yogi Guru, page 114 to 119. YA session started with Ashrita singing Prathana song Guru Nama Gai Mone Tale Tale Nachere. Shreya Ma conducted YA session. The discussion was about Shree Shree Thakur's Jivani. After YA session ended, Silpi, Pallavi Ma and Chinmay Ma did Bhavavinima Seva. Then Chinmay Ma invited Shree Shree Thakur for Madhyana Bhoga and Pallavi Ma invited for the evening puja. Sharla and Kishore Bhai invited Shree Shree Thakur to the next Sangha Puja to be held on March 8th. Chinmay Ma prayed for forgiveness from Shree Shree Thakur on the behalf of all sevakas and sevikas for any mistakes with the seva. The session was concluded with a Bidaya Pratna song sang by Rashmi Ma. Asana was closed with Jayaguru Nama Kirtana and Pranama. Biswajit Bhai took the attendance for Vais and Mas. Madhyana Bhoga was offered to Shree Shree Thakur, followed by Prasada Sevana by all Vais, Mas and young aspirants. Jayaguru, Shree Shree Thakur Charashita, Silpi, Pallavi Ma and Chinmay. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, Nilachale Thakur Nigamanand, पृष्ठा 282 लास्ट पैराग्राफ इतिमध्ये ओडिशार भक्त मान सहित ठाकुरंकर परिचय घनिष्ठतर होई उठिଥାଏ अपराह्न से तो पूर्वर ही प्रतिदिन आसुथिले वर्तमान ठाकुर प्रायशः सेमानंक संगरे आलाप करती संध्यारे से ऊपर को विश्राम करिया पई जीवा परे मध्य नीलमणि भाई और हरेन भाई को घेरी बाहर बारंडारे से माने आलोचना करती नीलमणि भाई सहकारी हेबारु हरेन भाई कार्य टिके हालुका होता है तेणु सांध्य बैठक में पिला फल और मिष्टान्न परिवेशन पर बहुत धर्मालोचना हुए फल दुर्गाचरण भाई प्रभृति साहस बढ़ी जाए 1339 साल फाल्गुन रे ही से समवेत भाव में ठाकुर निकट दीक्षा ने इच्छा प्रकाश कले से दिनर कथा नीलाचल वाणी लेखा अच्छी अल्प वयस्क छात्र केते जन प्रस्ताव शुणी ठाकुर कहले समस्ते 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 दीक्षा नब ताहेले देखुच पुरी छाड़ी मते पलाई जीवाकु हेबो देख उत्कल रे मोर 7-8 जन दीक्षित शिष्य अछंती एमाने अधिकांश दक्षिण ओडिसार एमानक भितरु केही किछि पाइछंती बोली मोर विश्वास हेउ नै कारण से माने मो सहित मिसी पारु नाहंती सुतरां भावर आदान प्रदान मध्य होई पारु नै तुमे माने हुए तो ଶୁଣିଥିବ ମୁଁ ବଙ୍ଗଳାର ଭକ୍ତମାନଙ୍କୁ କହିଛି सहस्र साधकों मध्यरु हुए तो जड़े सिद्ध हुंती से सिद्ध पुरुषों आश्रय करी बहु लोकंकर उन्नति हुए। मु तुम मान निमित्त साधन भजन करी तुम मान पृथक भाव में किसी साधन भजन करने हेब नहीं। जड़े सद्गुरु शक्ति परवर्ती 3 जन गुरु ठारे संचारित हुए। नानक शक्ति परवर्ती 9 जन मध्य संचारित होता। गुरु प्रति श्रद्धा भक्ति जात हेले सेतिकी बेले एही शक्तिर संक्रमण होता है। तांको संगरे मिलामिशा आलाप आलोचना हेले प्रेमर संबंध स्थापित हुए। श्रद्धा भक्ति ताहारी फल। ओडिशार शिष्य मान सहित मोर तो से भली संबंध स्थापित होबार संभावना नहीं। किपरि हेबो से माने मो सहित केबे साक्षात मध्य करंती नहीं। एई देख तुमर लोकनाथ पुरी रे ही ताहार घर किंतु से 6 मासरे थरे हेले भी मते साक्षात करे नहीं। एपरी कले कौन हृदय जोग स्थापित हेब। बंगला रे मोर एभली अनेक शिष्य अछंती जे माने कि किछि साधन भजन करंती नहीं किंतु से माने मो पई पागल। से माने किभली सुंदर अनुभूति सब लाभ करिसेंती। एहा परे एही छात्र मंडली आउ दीक्षा निमित्त ठाकुर को अनुरोध कले नहीं किंतु नीलाचल कुटीर को सेमानकर यातायात आहुरी नियमित होई उठिला। 1339 साल समाप्त हैला। 1340 साल बैशाख 24 दिन ठाकुरंक ठारू पत्र मिलला। ग्रीष्म छुट्टी आरंभ हेबा मात्रे आमे जेपरी पुरी जाऊ से एही निर्देश देइथिले। विमला माउसीमा ओ सुकमामु को श्री सुखदेव सेन फणी बाबूंक भौणी पुआ यहांकु ठाकुर मोर गृह शिक्षक रूपे मनोनीत करथिले। नहीं आमे माँ झील दुहे प्राय 1 वर्ष पर किछि दिन पई पुरी जाई स्वस्तिर निश्वास मारिलु। हाउडारे प्राण आकुल होई उठितिला। सबुबले पुरीर समुद्र और मुक्त वायुमंडल निमित्त मन कांदुतिला। 1340 साल बैशाख मासरे डाक्तर माँ तांको घरटी को ठाकुर को विक्रय कबला करी दान करदेले। पुरी रेजिस्ट्री ऑफिस रे सेई घर लक्ष्मण कुटीर दलित रेजिस्ट्री हैला। हरेन भाई नृपाल जी और सचिदानंद साहा बोधवे साक्षी थिले। 1367 बा 68 साल रे सेई घर विक्रयर समस्त टंका बुझी नहीं डाक्तर मान नीलाचल कुटीर सहित समस्त संपर्क छिन्न करदेले। आषाढ़ 13 दिन पर्यंत ठाकुर नीलाचल कुटीर भक्त मान चिठी लिखिथिबारु मोर अनुमान आषाढ़ शेष से आम मान नहीं कलिकता यात्रा कले। आम मान 55 तलारे छाड़ी निजे पुणी जाई बेलघरिया उपस्थित हेले। यही समय अन्नदा नाम मेदिनीपुर जड़े पिला तांको सेवक हेबाकु आसिला। मन हुए पिलाटी खड़कुसुमा आश्रम रे किछि दिन थिला। तापर संभवतः हरेन भाई को भावी सहचर भाव में तांको पुरी पठाइबार कथा हल्ला। नीलमणि भाई पुरी ठाकुरंक संगरे आसी बेलघरिया रे थिले। पुरी जबाकु हेले बा ठाकुरंकर सदा सहचर हेबाकु हेले किछि शिक्षा ग्रहण आवश्यक। तेणु अन्नदा ब्रह्मचारी बेलघरिया रे नीलमणि भाई और भुवन भाई निकट में शिक्षा ग्रहण करने को लगिले। अल्प दिन पर ठाकुर तांकु हाउडा रे आम पाखक पठाइदेले। आमर रंधन भोजन पृथक व्यवस्था थिला। बजार हाट करवा मते स्कूल रे नहीं टिफिन दे आसीबा स्कूल रु नहीं आसीबा एसु कार्य पई मांकर जने लोक दरकार थिला एवं से खूब विश्वासी लोक होइतिबा आवश्यक थिला। एही भार अन्नदा भाई को ऊपर पड़िला। सुंदर गोलगाल खर्बकाय स्फूर्तिवाद एही पिलाटी को ठाकुर खूब भल पाइथिले। परे पुणी अन्नदा ब्रह्मचारी कथा कही। बेलघरिया रे पहुंचवा परे सुधीर भाई माध्यम ठाकुरंकर गोटे गाड़ी किणा गला। प्रतिदिन अपराह्न रे ठाकुर को टिके बुलाई आनिबा पई या ता पाखरे गोड़ भांगी ठिया हवा अपेक्षा गोटाए गाड़ी किनेबा भल यह ही तांकर मने होइदिला। सेतेबेले बाजार रे 1500 कि 2000 टंकार गोटाए भल गाड़ी हेउथिला। एई गाड़ीटी खूब बड़ थिला। मोर शनिवार दिन स्कूल बंद सुतरां शुक्रवार संध्या रे गाड़ी आसे। अन्नदा भाई आम 2 जन को नहीं बेलघरिया चली जाती। केबे केबे मोर सान माँ श्रद्धेय अश्विनी बाबू मध्यम कन्या ननी माँ साथी हुंती। से ही 203 नंबर 55 तलार पाख घरे टीचर्स क्वार्टर रे रहता। सेतेबेले से घर हावड़ा बालिका विद्यालय केते जन शिक्षयित्री बासस्थली थिला। ता पूर्वरु से आममानंक परी दादा महाशयଙ୍କ घरर जणे लोक परी रही आस्थिले। अधिकांश समय से ही मटर रे ठाकुर बेलघरिया निजे आसंती। हुए तो आममानंक संगे दादा महाशयଙ୍କୁ गाड़ी नहीं रोड धरी थरे बुली आसी किंबा केबे लेक पर्यंत जाई फेरीबा समय रे तांको 55 तालार ओल्हाई देई आममानंकु नहीं बेलघरिया चली जाती। गुरुदास फणी बाबू कनिष्ठ पुत्र मोर समवयसी थिला। ए कथा पूर्वरु कहिछि। बिचारा प्रत्यय भावे लीलु प्रभृति किपरि बुलिया जाउछंती मु जदि दिने ठाकुरଙ୍କ संगे बुलिया जाई पारंती किंतु ता बापा से कथा मुहरे धरिबे नहीं। लीलुटा भी एमिति दिने हेले ठाकुरଙ୍କୁ कहिला नहीं कि जे बाबा आज खुका संगे चालू मुहरे किंतु गुरुदास सेतेबेले मते घृणा अक्षर मध्य कहि नथिला। मनरे भय बापा सुनिले मारी पकाइबे। आउ दिने मध्य गाड़ी आसिला। आमे समस्ते उठिलु। दादा महाशय और अन्नदा आग सीट रे बसिले। सेतेबेले हाफ पैंट पिंधि खाली पादरे गोटाए अधा मैला जामा हाथ धरी गुरुदास विमर्श मुखरे सम्मुख दिगर बारंडारे ठिया होता है। प्रत्यह यही भली ठिया होई रहे। हठात गाड़ी मुह बाहर करी ठाकुर कहले आज खोका मध्य आम संगे चालू। अरे मु हत चकित। गुरुदास एक कथा सुनी निज कान को मध्य विश्वास करि पारु न थाए। तेणे दादा महाशय धमक देले ना ना तू कुआडे जीवु जा पढ़िबु जा काहे की जीव नहीं तू चुप कर फणी खोकारे चलिया। ठाकुर एति कहया मात्रे जामाटा कौनसी प्रकार रे देहरे देउ देउ दुई दिया रे गुरुदास आसी गाड़ी दुआर मुहरे हाजर। अरे से कुआडे जीव सर्वांगरे धूली कादुओ मैला हुए तो आपणक देहरे लगाई देई पारे स्थान भी कहीं समान भाव रे फणी बाबू प्रतिवाद कले स्थान हेबो उठिया जेभली अछु सेभली चलिया। ठाकुर ईशत दृढ़ कंठरे ए आदेश करिवा मात्रे मोटर रो दरजा खोली श्रीमान भितरे प्रवेश करी सीट अभाव रे ठाकुरंकर पाद पाखरे गुंजी गांजी होई बसिला। ताहार से बोका भली अप्रस्तुत मुखरे चकित भाव रे से ठाकुरंक आड़कू चाहिमा मात्रे ठाकुर ताहार भय बुझी पारले। बापा काले शेषरे गाड़ी ओह्लाई देबे आश्वास दे ठाकुर कहले सेठारे काहे बसिलु सीट रे उठी बस सुरल लीला को कोल को ने ता से व्यवस्था आगुरु होई सारी थाए। गुंची बसी माँ ताकू उठी बसिबा कहउथांती किंतु गुरुदास एते निर्बोध नुहे। ताहा कले घर को फेरी बापा पिठी चमड़ा उतारी देबे नहीं तो खुशी रे चकचकिया मुहरे फाळे हसी देई पुणी चकित भाव रे ठाकुरंक आड़कू थरे अनाई खोका माँ को उद्देश्य रे कहला मोर किसी असुविधा हेउ नहीं मु एठी बसुची। एति कहवा संगे संगे से ठारी दे दादा महाशय को देखाई देला। तार भय क्योंटी ता बुझी पारी माँ निरस्त हेले। दादा महाशय फेरी चाही अवस्थाटा लक्ष्य करुछांती। तांको मुह कठोर आखिरे रोष। ठाकुर मध्य ता बुझी पारी गुरुदास को आउ किछि कहले नहीं। फोर्ट विलियम दुर्ग प्रांतर गाड़ी ओह्लाई मनमत संगी पाई ता सहित कथबार्ता माति गली। गुरुदास आनंद कहले न सरे। ठाकुर ताकू रागचना बादाम मौजा किणी देई थांती। सेही आनंद स्मृति आज पर्यंत गुरुदास भूली पारि नाही। या पर मध्य बुली जीवा समय आउरी केते थर ताकू संगरे नहीं थिले। तथापि प्रथम दिनर अभावनीय प्राप्ति संगरे कौन अन्य दिनर तुलना होई पारे। गुरुदास कहे सेही जे ठाकुर मोते डाकिले खोका तू चलिया जो भाव रे अछु से भाव रे आ मु जाने सेतिक रे मोर दीक्षा होई जाइछि। से निजे जे से दिन मते डाकी नहीं चंदी। गुरुदास रो मने नहीं राधाकांतपुर रे जो दिन भट्टाचार्य परिवार रो समस्त को नहीं एक संगरे खाई बसतिले से दिन मध्य ताकू खोजी डकाई आनी गोटे पाखरे बसाई देइतिले। गुरुदास कथा काहारी मने नथिला। दीदी मणि मने थिले मध्य कहिबे नहीं। यह जना कथा। बेल सेते बेलू 2टा कि 2:30 हेलानी। क्षुदारे दरमरा खोका को ठाकुर किंतु ठीक स्मरण रखिथिले। यह मध्य ठाकुरंकर गोटे दिग आश्चर्य सहानुभूति और सबु दिग को दृष्टिपात। 2 राति 2 दिन बेलघरिया रे खूब आनंद रे कटाई रविवार संध्यारे पेचा भली मुह करी फेरी आसे बुली जा बेले ठाकुर आम मान पहुंचाई दे किसी समय 55 तलार बैठक खाना बसी दादा महाशय और दीदीमणि संगे कथबार्ता कर चली जाती मते कांद मारे पुणी पढ़ा स्कूल जावाक पड़ो बेलघरिया सेवा और गोपाल संगे पुणी देखाला यह पूर्व 1338 साल कथा कहू जाई थरे निहार रंजन नंदी महाशय कथा कही से बेलघरियार सुधीर भाई भग्निपति और ठाकुर शिष्य सेवा और गोपाल तांकर पुत्र कन्या पुरी सच्चिदानंद भाई जो घरे थिले नीलाचल कुटीर पार्श्ववर्ती सही स्थान ज्योति निवास रे स्वामी स्त्री 2 जन पुत्र कन्या दुही को नहीं प्राय 2-3 मास थिले सेवा बड़ गोपाल सान गोरा तक तक भाई भौणी दुही को ठाकुर भारी पसंद करती सेमानकर शिक्षा और चालीचलन कुआडे भारी चमत्कार मो भली बणुआ जंगली बेआडा जीव घर नुहे मते एड़ी दे सेमान को प्रशंसा करा जाए ता हेउ पछके चिरदिन मु निसंग हेतु घर पाखरे सेमान को पाई महा आनंद रे बंधुत्व स्थापन कली दिन राति एका संगरे खेलु सेमाने कुटीर को आसंती कारण मोर केउ आडू जीवा मना दिने निहार भाई विशेष अनुमति नहीं मते तांको घर को डाकी आनिले सेवा और गोपाल मते तांको घरे देखि भारी खुशी सेमाने तांको खेलना मते देखाइले 3 जन सेठारे एक संगरे खेलिलु सेमानक अपेक्षा मोर बहुत बेसी खेलना थिला किंतु 2टी नुआ जिनस सेठारे मो आखिरे पड़ला ता हेउची 2 रंगिया काठ बॉल और पोड़ामटीर कला चर्चक जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा मूर्ति यह सब पुरीर खेलना नित्यांत तुच्छ बोली किनी न थाए मोर दृष्टि थाए आलू कंढई और रबर खेलना उपरे से दिन किंतु सेगुड़िक भल जिनिस बोली मने होउतला 2-3 थर एपाखे सेपाखे करी देखुए और खेलना गुड़िकर प्रशंसा करुए मनर इच्छा से 2टी खेलना नहीं जाती किंतु कहारी घरे खाइबा बा किछि नेबा मते निषिद्ध थाए तेणु से कथा मुहरे धरी नहीं सेवा और गोपाल बारंबार कहिसेंती तुमे ए 2टा निय मुंड हलाई मु ना बोली कहिछि सेवा सेतेबेले निहार भाई को कहला बापा तुमे लीलू दीदी को एभली गोटे बॉल और जगन्नाथ मूर्ति किणी दियो ए 2टा आमर बोली से नेउनांती तांको कथार प्रतिवाद करी मु कहली तुम खेलना नेले बाबा गाली देबे सेवार स्वभाव भारी मधुर थिला कथा मध्य तार से भली मधुर से तत्क्षणात कहला तेणु बापा को कहूची पूरा नुआ खेलना तुमको किणी देबे ताहले ठाकुर आउ किछि कहिबे नहीं एतिक बेले मोर प्रत्याख्यान करबा उचित थिला ताहा होइतिले पिता ठाकुरंकर निषेधर मर्यादा रही था मोर तो दुष्ट बुद्धि मु प्रकारांतरे सम्मति जनाई गली तापर कौन घटिला ताहा कहवाकू पड़ो निहार भाई खेलना 2टी को ठाकुर पाद पाखे रखी कहले लीलू ए खेलना 2टी को भारी पसंद करथिला तेणु तापाई किणी आनिछि आउ जाए कुआडे से खेलना तो फेरस्त दिगला ता संगे मु खूब कटु भर्सना पाइली तोर कौन खेलनार अभाव अच्छी तेरे एते लोभ कहीं जदि एते लोभ है तेरे घर को आसी कही पारू नहीं लोकों ठारू किछि मागियाकू मु बारंबार निषेध करथिली ना चक्षु जल भासी थरे कहवाकू चेष्टा करथिली मु कहिथिली मु मागी नहीं किंतु मु निजे बुझुଥାଏ ए कथा मिथ्या अनेक प्रकार रे मागी हुए केवल मुहरे मागिबाटा को कौन मागिबा कहा जाए ता छड़ा मु जे इच्छा करथिली ताहा तो निहार भाई कही देइछंती एही घटना नहीं पूरा गोटे दिन बाबा मते कथा कही नांती कि पाखकू डाकी नांती बड़ होया परे आउ एभली भर्सना तांकटर सुनी नाही तेबे एभली गाली न खाइले मध्य परोक्ष शासन और मृदु भर्सना अनेक सहय करिया को पड़िछि ता छड़ा दिने एक प्रचंड धमक खाइथिली ताहा एहिठारे कहूछि ताहा सही बेलघरिया रे कोनोसी शनिवार की रविवार रो घटना से दिन सकाळ ठारू पिता ठाकुरंक मिजाज भल न थाए मध्य मध्य तांकर ए प्रकार विरक्त विमर्श भाव देखि मोर देह सुहा होई जाई थाए तेणु तांको प्रसन्नता प्रति एते गुरुत्व दिए नहीं ताहा ही मोर काळ हैला खरारे बुली देह खराब हेले स्कूल जीवा बंद हेबो एतिपई 2 पहर बेले ठाकुर निजे तांको घरे मते अटकाई रखंती सेठारे मते टिके निद्रा जीवाकू हुए से दिन मध्य यथा समय डाकिले लीला घरे जाई पहुंचली भुवन झरका बंद कर दे पानी ग्लासटा भुवन
जयगुरु भाई टिके लास्ट लॉजिक दियंतु टाइम हे गलानी 10:40 हलानी जयगुरु
विशुद्ध भाई रख दी
भाई हाँ ठीक अच्छे दे ठीक है जयगुरु
भाई इंग्लिश में डिस्कशन नहीं जयगुरु
वेदों करिए ना
अच्छी वेदों पढ़िए
Jayaguru. So we will summarize what was read today in Nilasaya Thakura Nigamananda from page 282. So Nilama is describing a situation after her tonsil surgery when she was sick, and after she recovered from the surgery and her health conditions improved, Shree Shree Thakur asked her to stay in Howrah and to continue her study. She was in 2nd grade by that time, and during that time Thakur came back to Puri, to Kutira, and he sent a letter to Panjanantala Road addressing Lilama and explaining about the renovations and new painting, new look of the house. And then also during that time, Thakur got a little bit close to the devotees of Odisha. They are a group of students who used to come to Thakur regularly, and they used to have every day good conversation with Thakur. When they became a little bit closer to Thakur, one day they asked for having the initiation, and then Thakur was a little bit hesitant at that time. He focused mostly on having a deep connection with Guru, being able to share and share the feelings, and closely getting connection with Thakur, with Guru, so that his words, his advices, they will be able to understand. And that is the beautiful experience they will have by having deep interaction, then communication and connection with Guru. So this is the incident of 1339 Sal. After that, understanding the importance of having regular interaction with Thakur, they stopped for a while to ask for initiation. Then during 1340 Vaisakha Sal, basically Thakur asked Lilama, her mother, and her tutor Sukamamu to come from Howrah to Puri during the summer vacation. A couple of significant events happened during that year. One of the events was the Dr. Ma officially transferred her house, Lakshman Kutir, to Thakur through a deed of sale registered in Puri. Then Thakur, after spending some time in Puri, he traveled to Calcutta with the family at the end of Asadha. Then stayed in Belgaria. During that time, a young dedicated sevaka named Annada, he came from Midnapur, and he joined at Thakur's seva. He got some training with Nilamani Bhai and Bhuvan Bhai to get prepared to be Thakura's sevaka and to be the assistant of Haran Bhai in Puri. Then another incident has been described here, which is the purchase of the new vehicle. By the help of Sudhir Bhai, a car was purchased for Thakura for approximately 1,500 to 2,000 rupees at that time. The main purpose of the car was to take Thakura for afternoon rides and to get the children, including Lilama, Annada Bhai from Howrah to Belgaria during the weekends. Thakura frequently drove the car himself from Belgaria to get Dada Mahasai. They really, that was a beautiful time. And then the next incident is about Sanama, who is Aswini Babu's daughter. He also joined them on these trips. The important thing here is Gurudas Bhai, who watched these trips, and he also longed for joining Thakura in these trips. But then Fani Bhai was a little bit reluctant because Gurudas Bhai was not very prepared. He was having a dirty sack and all. So Thakura insisted, let Khoka also come with us today. And that was like, very shocking and delightful for him. He joined, and then he really kind of felt that as Thakura's attention for him, and reflecting on that, he thought that as a true initiation. Another incident was also, when everybody kind of missed to notice him when he was hungry, but Thakura had that attention to detail, and he asked, "Here is Gurudas, and please come here." And that was showing Thakura's deep empathy and attention to everything, basically.
जय गुरु एबे पंचु दोल उत्सव होली चलसी ए विषय संबंधी गोटे प्रार्थना करछि जय गुरु होरी खेलंती होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती संगे घेनी रसमती राई गो संगे घेनी रसमती राई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती मंडली रचिले गोप बाला गण मथे रखी राधाराणी मंडली रचिले गोप बाला गण मथे रखी राधाराणी ए काले माधव मुरली बजाई ए काले माधव मुरली बजाई ए काले माधव मुरली बजाई उभा त्रिभंगा ठाणी गो उभा त्रिभंगी माठाणी गो होरी खेलंती होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती होरी खेलंती होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती होरी खेलंती रसमती राई अंगे बड़ी फगु आनंद रे मग्न हेले रसमती राई अंगे बड़ी फगु आनंद रे मग्न हेले कृष्ण अंगे फगु बड़ी गोपबाला 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 आनंद रे नृत्य कले गो आनंद रे नृत्य कले गो होरी खेलंती खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती श्रीमती धइले कृष्ण बास भिड़ी छड़ाई मुरली करू श्रीमती धइले कृष्ण बास भिड़ी छड़ाई मुरली करू देखिता चकिते वृंदावन चंद्र देखिता चकिते वृंदावन चंद्र वेणु भिड़िता पासरु गो वेणु भिड़िता पासरु गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती तेरी यही दृश्य गोपिए नाचिले चौधार ताली मारी तेरी यही दृश्य गोपिए नाचिले चौधार ताली मारी कृष्ण करु फगु गाई अंगे लागी कृष्ण करु फगुराई अंगे लागी कृष्ण करु फगुराई अंगे लागी कृष्ण करु फगुराई अंगे लागी रंगे हेला रस भरा दो रंगे हेला रस भरा दो होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो होरी खेलंती राई कर फगु श्याम अंगे लागी दिशिला ता बड़ तोरा राई कर फगु श्याम अंगे लागी दिशिला ता बड़ तोरा गोपिका श्री कृष्ण श्रीमती सभिए गोपिका श्री कृष्ण श्रीमती सभिए फगु रंगे एकाकार गो फगु रंगे एकाकार गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती रंगे कन्हाई गो होरी खेलंती अपरूप शोभा जन मन लोभा हेरी जगत विभोर अपरूप शोभा जन मन लोभा हेरी जगत विभोर सते आकाशरु फगु झरई गो 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 भक्ते आनंदे होई गो भक्ते आनंदे होइले बाई गो हरि खेलंती हरि खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो हरि खेलंती संगे घेनी रसमती राई गो संगे घेनी रसमती राई गो हरि खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो हरि खेलंती रंगे कनाई गो हरि खेलंती जय गुरु 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 जय गुरु
जय गुरु योगी गुरु साधन कल्प पेज 116 कौटिल्य दंभ संयुक्त सत्य शौच विवर्जित केनपि निर्मित नारी बंधनम सर्वदेहिनम अवधूत गीता hence one should analyze what is that sight of what visual component causes such deep desire, what causes such fire of bestial passion. Is it physical beauty? But what is this physical body? It is nothing but the combination of Pancha Mahabhuta, 5 basic elements. Its manifestation pervades the entire universe. It is present in all objects of the universe. Why should we have attraction for it only in a limited place? Especially for how many moments will survive beautiful appearance and young age? Moreover, what happened to it in childhood? How is it in youth? What will it be in adulthood and old age? We should think of the consequence of such changing physical body. This weak and emaciated old woman lying in the deathbed was also once young and youthful. But what has now happened to her? Moreover, if disease attacks in young age, it will spoil and rot this beautiful body and may replace it to less than a ghost in appearance. Therefore, why do we have so much attraction and attachment for it? Remember, Bhagadikusya Paryantam Samvidhi Narakarnavam Ye Ramante Punastatra Taranti Narakam Katham. Avadhuta Gita. One more thing. I admit that the physical union with wife is pleasant, but it should be analyzed what is the origin of such pleasure. It is because the vital energy in the form of semen present within us gives such pleasure. Otherwise, there is nothing of it in the body of a woman. Why do children, instead of being captivated by the beauty of a young woman, very much like to be in the lap of the mother? There is no difference among girls, young women, and an old woman for the eunuchs employed as guards in the royal closet. Let me explain it with an example. The rural people might have come across a spectacle in which a village stray dog, finding no food in the village, goes to the burial ground of the cattle and picks up some very old and dry bone. Afterwards, that dog, out of hunger, masticates that dry bone in a lonely place. But what is in that dry bone? The blood comes out the scars and wounds caused in the mouth by masticating the dry and hard bones. the dog gets the special taste of blood coming out of the fresh wounds in its own mouth. Then it masticates that dry bone with greater care and interest. Therefore, when the mouth pains, it understands that the blood from the wounds of its own mouth was tasty to the tongue. As a result, it throws away the dry piece of bone and goes out in the search of other food. Similarly, pleasure-giving material is present in our body, but without understanding it, we are spellbound by the beauty of women and waste our vital energy for momentary pleasures. Eventually, in quest of happiness, we return with deep disappointment and regret. We fail to realize that happiness is in our close proximity. Like insects, we die by jumping into the fire of sensual beauty. That vital energy gives indescribable pleasure for a moment at its discharge from the body. The common man does not know how much inexplicable pleasure it will give if it is preserved carefully in the body. We are so ignorant that we have almost dedicated our mind and life in wasting that vital energy in vain. Those who have become
ଜୟ ଅନେକ ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଇଛି ଅନେକ ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ସଙ୍ଗୀତ
ସେଇ କଜଳ ଘେନାଇ ଦିଅ ନୟନେ ମୋର ଠାକୁର ସେଇ କଜଳ ଘେନାଇ ଦିଅ ନୟନେ ମୋର ଠାକୁର ହେରିବି ଏଇ ବିଶ୍ୱସାରା ସୁନ୍ଦର ହେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସେଇ କଜଳ ଘେନାଇ ଦିଅ ନୟନେ ମୋର ଠାକୁର ଦୂର ନୀଳ ଘନ କୋଳେ ହସି ସରସେ ଶଶୀଟି ଖେଳେ କାଲି ବାଦଲ ଲପନେ ଘେରି ନ ସାରୁ ତାର ଆଦୁର ନିରେଖୁଥିବି ନୀତି କି ନୀତି ସୁନ୍ଦର ହେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସେଇ କଜଳ ଘେନାଇ ଦିଅ ନୟନେ ମୋର ଠାକୁର ଅଜୁରା ତଟ ତଟିନୀ ରେ ଭସାଇ ତରି ମନ ଅଧିରେ ପଶ୍ଚିମର ରଙ୍ଗ ଛବି ନ ଚାହୁଥିବ ଅନ୍ତର ଶୁଣୁଥିବି ମୁଁ ଦୂର ବହିସି ସୁନ୍ଦର ହେ ସୁନ୍ଦର ସେଇ କଜଳ ଘେନାଇ ଦିଅ ନୟନେ ମୋର ଠାକୁର ସବୁରି ଦେହେ ତୁମରି ଛାଇ ମଧୁର ଶିରି ରହିବି ଚାହିଁ ଉଛୁଲୁଥିବ କଣ୍ଠେ ତୁମ বন্দনার ঝঙ্কার নিশি দিবস অসবিরস মলাগি হেব সুন্দর সেই কজল ঘেনাই দিয় নয়নে মোর ঠাকুর সেই কজল ঘেনাই দিয় নয়নে মোর ঠাকুর হেরিবি বিশ্ব সারা সুন্দর হে সুন্দর সেই কজল ঘেনাই দিয় নয়নে মোর ঠাকুর সেই কজল ঘেনাই দিয় নয়নে মোর ঠাকুর।
Jayaguru. Aspirants, we'll start with attendance and then I'll ask Anik to explain the meaning of the song he just sang. Aditi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Adhibasa? Icy?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Anik?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ansh?
Jayaguru ma आज ही join कर करिए
Jayaguru. Anshul? Arnav?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Aryan?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Ashrita?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Jamu?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Divyam?
मैं जयगुरु में दिव्य मार्ग से join करना थी
Jayaguru. Timmy?
Jayaguru, Timmy can't join today.
Jayaguru. Jagrat?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Nathik?
Jayaguru ma se aaj nahi.
Jayaguru. Nivriti?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Pratyusha? Pratyush?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Prayushi?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Sanvi?
Maharaj Bosini, Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Sanya?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Sarasat?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Charlotte?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Sarsak? Bobby?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Shilpi?
Jayaguru mummy.
Shreyasi?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Jimmy?
Jayaguru.
Jayaguru. Simran?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Shrija?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Suhani? Yukta?
Jayaguru ma.
Jayaguru. Was there anyone that came in after? Okay, fine. Anik, can you go ahead and explain the meaning of the song you just sang?
Jayaguru, yes, the song has a very nice meaning. The overall meaning of the song is that we pray to Thakura to bless us with his view, which is to love everybody in his beautiful world all the time and equally. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, it's a beautiful sentiment, and I think when when we look at the world, and a lot of the songs we talk about how much he does for us and our relationship with him. And I think this is a different and really important that, you know, we live in this world, we want to serve him and be the best that we can be for him, and seeing the world the way that he does is a really important step in that, and we can all benefit from looking at the world and other people in that more positive way. So today we are going to continue reading Avagichay, so the English translation, What I Expect, which are the various pieces of advice that Hector has given in different places that are all about 50 pieces of advice are all collected in this little book. And we've been reading it, so we'll just continue going through. We'll read 3 more pieces of advice today and discuss. So for that first piece of advice, advice 13, Icy, would you mind reading advice 13 for us?
Jayaguru, sure. Advice 13. I do not want anything material from you, no abbey or monastery. I by myself don't even demand any work from you. Only my earnest begging to you is that you should become real men. I have come to you as a beggar to beg for the qualities of real men, the divinity, the godliness, and the realization of the absolute. May you all develop to become real men, God, the divine, the absolute Brahman. This is what I expect, and for this I bless you all.
Jayaguru. So let's get into discussing this one. This and advice 14 are going to be connected. So in this advice 13, what is Thakura asking of us? What does he want from us? Pratyush, what does Thakura want from us?
Jayaguru, all Thakura wants from us is, like, he doesn't want work, he doesn't want any physical things. He just wants us to follow behind him, to serve, to do our duty, and to achieve the enlightenment together. Jayaguru.
Yeah, he wants for us to make spiritual progress, to achieve enlightenment, to achieve what he says as that divinity, godliness, realization, that ultimate realization. And so he's asking us to just follow along on this path, to devote ourselves to that spirituality, and that is the crux of what he's asking for from us. So he specifically says here he does not demand any work from us. What does that mean when he says he doesn't demand any work from us? So he's asking us to be on the spiritual path. When he says, like, specifically he doesn't ask for any work from us, how do we understand that? Shrija?
Jayaguru, he's like asking us to do like good deeds instead of like doing the whole thing, like specifically. And like he comes in another form to like understand what we have learned from him and like imply it in our life. Jayaguru?
Right, yeah. So he does want us to do good in the world. He's not necessarily asking for us to do like any physical labor like specifically for him, but we understand that whatever we're doing, it should be serving that purpose. He's not asking us to well, he's not necessarily specifically directing us to do like this work or that work, but what he is asking for us is to do what we need to do to progress on that spiritual path. So then, kind of in that sense, so even if he's not asking for specific works, when he tells us he wants us to achieve enlightenment, he wants us to, understand the absolute, understand him and him in his form, in that form. How do we achieve that? How do we do what he wants? How do we progress spiritually and get the realization of the absolute, become real men, achieve that divinity and that godliness? Aditi, how do we achieve that?
Jayaguru, I think the way like people first achieve that is to let go of like all the material things that bind them to this world, and just to realize that all of that is temporary, and there's like so much more to life than that, like what Thakur said. Jayaguru.
Yeah, so Thakur says like one big thing is we live on this earth, we're amongst all the material things, but we need to let go of our attachment to all of that and focus on what's important, which is that spiritual aspect, which is him. So that's one way that we go forward in that path. How else? Saranya, how else do we follow Thakur's teachings and progress or go forward in this spiritual path?
By Jayaguru, by chanting Thakur's name.
Jayaguru, yeah, that's a good one. That's what we can do specific practices. So thinking of Thakur, chanting his name, chanting Jayaguru, those are all really good spiritual practices to keep us grounded, to keep us on this path. And then they can help when we're trying to, let go of the material things and focus on the spiritual. Chanting his name can help us get there. So then there's another important piece that he mentions here. He says at the end of this, he says it is what he expects of us is for us to go along the spiritual path to, go towards achieving enlightenment, to become real men, to develop into God, the divine, the absolute, which is that ultimate goal is for us to realize who we are and to get that ultimate understanding of ourselves, of him. And he says, very importantly, that not only does he expect that of us, but he blesses us all for this. So what is, Saraswat, what is the significance of Thakur blessing us here? Saraswat, are you there? Yeah, maybe we lost him. Shreyasi, what do you think that the significance of Thakur blessing us for all of this is, and what do his blessings have to do with our spiritual journey?
I think
His blessings with our spiritual journey just give us support and guidance through what seems uncertain to us and what we're not sure about yet. Even if the path is there and his guidance is there, sometimes it's hard to like reach out for it and reach out to receive that help and look for what is already there.
Yeah. I mean, his blessings kind of guide us. In other places we've read that moving forward on the spiritual path, really understanding things, you need a guide, you need a guru, and so guru's blessings and his blessings help us achieve these things. So he's expecting something of us, and he's blessing us so that we can achieve that with his help. And we think we have his blessings, and that's another grounding way to think of that. Okay. Let's move on to advice 14. Quite short. Arnav, would you be able to read advice 14 for us?
Yeah, Jayaguru, sure, I could read it. Advice 14. It is you whom I demand, and not the monastery or the abbey. If a single one of you become a real man, I will consider that all my mission and hope has been fulfilled. Jayaguru.
So he mentions this in verse 13 and 14, and he says he doesn't want the monastery or the abbey from us. So in this one, when he says he wants us and not the monastery or the abbey, what do you think he's getting at with that? What specifically is he calling attention to when he says he wants us and not the monastery or abbey? Yukta?
Jayaguru, when Thakur says this, I think what he's referring to is that he doesn't want to occupy a physical space like a monastery or an abbey, but rather the beliefs that we have as devotees towards him. Jayaguru.
I like that interpretation of it. So, we build, we have our temples and we have these places where we gather and worship, but that's, the place itself is not what he's asking. He is asking us he's asking for our faith and devotion and, our attention in a lot of ways. So, whatever these places are, whatever these things are that we can give him, whatever these works are, all of that is there. We might do these things, we might have these things, but without us, without us being there with him, without us really focusing on all of that, none of that is achieved. The main thing is he wants us and our he wants us on this path and with him and trying to achieve that spirituality and that progress with him. So then with that, he kind of related to that, what is he saying in both of these pieces of advice? What do we need to do to fulfill his wishes? Do we need any particular things in order to fulfill his wishes? Shreyasi? Do we need anything in particular to fulfill Thakur's wishes?
Jayaguru, we don't need anything in particular to fulfill Thakur's wishes. We just need to develop the qualities of real men.
We just, he's not asking any, he's not asking for anything from us. He's not asking for any particular actions necessarily. It's just that we focus spiritually, that we become real men. We talked about this last time with what he means by a real man. He wants us to be good and do good in the world and progress spiritually in that way. And if we do that, that is enough. He doesn't necessarily, and to do that, we don't need to possess any physical things. We just need to we just need to focus on him and his message and that spiritual aspect of things. Okay. So the next one is let's move on to advice number 15. Jagrith, can you read advice 15 for us?
Jayaguru, yes I can. Advice 15. You're the aspirant of purifying your soul by rendering service. You're the servant, and this purification of soul is the steps of achieving all sorts of spiritual upliftment. So it will be your religious duty to serve the man as a god, Narayana, himself in any way, according to your individual capabilities. Go on doing your duties without any reference to the result. And it's by this that your worshipping of the preceptor Jayaguru will be fruitful.
Jayaguru. So thank you for reading that for us. Jimmy, what does Thakur say that we can do to purify our souls?
Jayaguru, he says that we can purify our soul by like meditating, praying. Jayaguru.
Like meditating and praying are definitely one things that we can do. What else? Zimran, what else does Thakur say that in advice 15 that we can do to purify our souls?
Jayaguru, I think you can like purify your soul by like rendering service, and you are the servant, and by doing like puja to Thakur a lot. Jayaguru.
Yeah. So one of the big things that he mentions here, so along with we've talked about in the past, purifying our soul and centering spirituality through practices like we do when we do puja or we do meditation, some meditative practices and prayers and those sorts of things. Those do center us and keep us connected to him and purify us in that way. Here he does specifically mention doing service to him, or not service to him, just service in general. So it could be service to him, but it also could just be rendering service in general. So when we act as servants in our day-to-day lives, that helps with the purification of our soul. And so what do we achieve when we purify our souls? Anhik, what do we achieve when we purify our souls?
By purifying our soul, we're basically getting closer to spiritual enlightenment. Jayaguru?
Yeah, so it gets us closer to spiritual enlightenment. It's, we need to really understand the absolute and who we are. We need to be ready for that information. And so purifying our souls is essentially saying we're getting ourselves into the shape that we need to be to understand what we need to understand. Okay, so then he also mentioned, so when we do service, there's a way that we should think about the people that we're doing, that we are serving. So Aryan, what does Thakur say? How does Thakur say we should think about the people that we are serving?
Jayaguru, could you please repeat the question?
So Thakura mentions like a very specific way that we should think about the people that we are serving. So like how should we consider, or what should we think about the people that we are serving when we serve them?
Jayaguru, he claims that we should think about the people that we serve as God himself. And, like everyone has a little bit of Thakura in them, right? Jayaguru?
Yeah, right. So a follow-up to that, why, when we're doing service, how does that, I guess, like how do our attitudes change, or how does that service become more, spiritually fulfilling if we're thinking about all of the people we serve as God? Like, how does that change how we treat them, what we physically do, and how we feel about that service as we're doing it?
I would think that thinking of Thakura being in every living being that we're serving would make us more dedicated towards our service. I think, for me at least, like if I were to remember that Thakura is in this person that I'm serving, and ultimately like we're here to serve Thakura, then it would make me like a lot more dedicated and devoted to the service.
Yeah. Obviously.
I do.
Jayaguru Pranam. So when we do
Jayaguru,
like obviously we want to help people, and it feels good to be
Jayaguru.
When we think about serving people like we're serving God, and we see that aspect of them, it can help make us more devoted, but it can also help us depending on what service you're doing and what you're doing, some things can be more difficult, situations can be difficult. You might not know people very well, but whatever you're doing, if you kind of think back to serving God, and this person has that inside of them, it can be a lot. It can help motivate and keep that important. Like what's really important here, which is like doing the service and we want to just wait a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Before we start singing. So then this next part, he says, he mentions that we should do service without reference to the results. So Jemu, when Tucker talks about acting and doing the service without doing our duties without reference to the results, what does that mean to you, and why would that be important?
So it's important to do your duty without thinking about the result. Because, for example, like if you're praying to Tucker to get good grades, you shouldn't really do that. You should just be like doing your duty, doing your seva, and hope like when you do that consistently, you'll know that Tucker is always going to be there for you. You shouldn't really expect something like directly out of him. Jayaguru?
Yeah, right. I mean, if we, like you said, like when we focus on the result, or if we do like service or something like that, or right, and we're doing our duties, and we're doing them because we expect something. We're tying everything to a result. We focus maybe more on that than what we should be doing. We should do what we need to do because that's what I think to do. But again, like we talk about wanting and needing to keep that focus, and focusing on the results can keep us away from that. So then our final thing here, he mentions when we worship a preceptor, so when we worship Guru, that will be fruitful by doing about things. So when we worship Thakura, what is he saying? Like how does and what in advice 15 do we do to make our worship of Thakura fruitful? Shrija, what do we do that he mentions here that makes our worship of him fruitful?
Grandma, can you repeat the question?
So Thakura says in that last line, and it is by this that your worshiping of the preceptor of Guru will be fruitful. What is it that makes our worship fruitful?
Grandma, it like makes your duties more like worshipable, and like once you do it, it like helps you like understand like the meaning of worshiping, and it will like be more fruitful. Jacob?
Yeah. So having this service mentality, seeing God in everyone and serving them in that way, doing these things without thinking about the result and what we get out of it. Those all have us in that mindset to truly understand what we're praying for and get us into that mindset that we need to be in to be aligned with Guru and on that spiritual path. With this, we are out of time. And we'll go to Charlotte when you're ready. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, I am Charlotte, and I am grateful that I got Bali on this day. Last Sunday was my birthday, and this Sunday is International Women's Day. And I thank all the mas, grandmas, mothers, teachers. I thank all the women who have done so many wonderful things in this world. And Thakura, he has helped me so much throughout the school year, throughout all my clubs, competitions, tests, and more. Every time I'm in a difficult situation or challenge, like I have an exam or a competition, and I just don't know what to do, I always say Jayaguru, and Thakura finds a way to always get me out of this difficult situation. And each year Thakura always helps me, but it always seems like each year he helps me more and more and more. Like each year feels like I'm getting more connected to him. Jayaguru.
जयगुरु प्राण ठाकुर और समस्त भाई और माँ पिला माने को मोर जयगुरु प्रणाम। आज मोर भाव विनिमय अच्छी वर्षकर काइंड ऑफ रिव्यू। सो दुईटा जिनस मुझे आरथरक ठाकुर भावधारा प्रेरित होगापी गोटे हूँ द बुक रिडिंग आउ ठाकुर नाम नवा। मु रियलाइज कर बुक रिडिंग करुची बट सब बेले फ्रिक्वेंटली सबुदिन हो पारुनी किसी किसी दिन मिस हो जाऊँगी सेटा गोटा इम्प्रूवमेंट आने को चाहूँगी मु नेक्स्ट ईयर। आ नाम नवार जो पावर सेटा मु लाइफ रे एबे रियलाइज करुची एंड आई एम सीइंग द रिजल्ट। डेफिनेटली सालक जमती कहला कि डिफिकल्ट टाइम रे ठाकुर को ना नेले ठाकुर निश्चित किसी ना किसी रास्ता देखेबे सेटा मु प्रैक्टिकली बहुत थर लास्ट 1 ईयर हो कि आगुर भी सेटा देखी बट लास्ट 1 ईयर है मुझे नोटिस करजे ठाकुर मत केमिति केमिति जगार निश्चित भाव में हेल्प कर बाहर को आनी से नाम नवार पावर आई डेफिनेटली रियलाइज आईटा को कंटिन्यू करने चाहूँगी जे नाम नेला नाम नेला बेलू आ गोटे जिन हूँ कि मन भितर अन्न अजथा कथा आसुनी जो खाली बस कि ट्रावेल टाइम रे कि को टाइम रे से खाली आडू साडू कथा न देखी न भावी नाम नेला बेलू सेटा गोटा फोकस हो ठाकुर ऊपर विश्वास भी बढ़ी चलुची सेटा गोटा बड़ जिन ठाकुर एब्सोल्यूट ट्रस्ट सेटा धीरे धीरे ଆସିବା ଆହୁରି ବଢ଼ି ଚାଲିଛି ଆଉ ମୁଁ ତାର ରେଜଲ୍ଟ ବି ବହୁତ ସମୟରେ ଦେଖିଛି। ତେଣୁ ମୁଁ ଏ ବର୍ଷ ପାଇଁ ସେଇ ଦୁଇଟା ଜିନିଷକୁ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ବୁକ୍ସ ରିଡ଼ିଂ ମୋର 100% ମୁଁ ଆଚିଭ୍ କରିନି, ସୋ କିଛି କିଛି ଦିନ ମୋର ମିସ୍ ହେଉଛି, କିଛି ଦିନ ନୁହେଁ ତ ବହୁତ ଦିନ ମିସ୍ ହେଇଛି ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି। ଆଉ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆଗକୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କ୍ଷମା ମାଗୁଛି କି କେମିତି ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଯେମିତି ସବୁ ବର୍ଷ ଆସିକି ଏଇ କଥା କହିବି ସରି, no, that is not sorry. So I want to continue that and without any kind of excuse. So ତେଣୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ନିବେଦନ ମୋତେ ସେତିକିରେ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରନ୍ତୁ। ମୁଁ ଏଠି ଭାବିନା ଶେଷ କରୁଛି। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ। ଶ୍ରୀମତ୍ ପରମ ଗୁରୁଂ ବଦାମି, ଶ୍ରୀମତ୍ ପରମ ଗୁରୁଂ ଭଜାମି, ଶ୍ରୀମତ୍ ପରମ ଗୁରୁଂ ସ୍ମରାମି, ଶ୍ରୀମତ୍ ପରମ ଗୁରୁଂ ନମାମି। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କୃପାରୁ ଏ ସେବକ 3 ବର୍ଷ ହେଇଗଲା ଆମେରିକା ସଂଘରେ ସେବା କରିବା। ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଭାଇମା ଠାକୁରେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ସଂଘରେ ରହି ବର୍ଷ ବର୍ଷ ଧରି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସେବା କରିବା, ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଭାଇମାଙ୍କ ମନ ନେଇକିରି ଚଳିବା, ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ସାଧନା। ଏଇଟା ମୋର କ୍ରେଡିଟ୍ ନୁହଁ କି ମୋର ଗର୍ବ ନୁହଁ, ଏଇଟା ହେଉଛି ମୋର ପିତା ମାତା ସଖା ବନ୍ଧୁ ପରିବାର ପରି ଭଲ ପାଉଥିବା ମୋତେ କୃପା କରି ମୋତେ ଏନର୍ଜି ଦେଇଥିବା ମୋ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଯୋଗୁଁ ବର୍ଷ ବର୍ଷ ଧରି ପରିବାର ପ୍ରତି ନା ମୋର ଏତେ ଲାଳସା ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଘର ଛାଡ଼ିଛି ବୋଲି ଯେ ମୋତେ ବାରମ୍ବାର ସେଠୁ ମନ ପକାଉଛନ୍ତି, ଇଏ କେବଳ ତାଙ୍କରି କୃପା ଯୋଗୁଁ ମୁଁ ଏଠି ରହିପାରିଛି। ଏଇଟା ହିଁ କେବଳ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କୃପା। ଯେ ପ୍ରାଣୀ ସରଳ ମୋହର, ଯେ ପ୍ରାଣୀ ସରଳ ମୋହର, ମୁଁ ତାହାରି ସୂତ୍ରଧର। ଭାଗବତ କହୁଛି, ମଣିଷ ଜନ୍ମ ଯେବେ ଲାଭ, ଯେବେ ଗୋବିନ୍ଦ କରେ ଭାବ। ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ମୋ ଅନ୍ତରରେ ଯେଉଁ ସତ୍ୟ ପ୍ରତିଭାତ ହୋଇଛି, ତୁମେମାନେ ତାକୁ ବାହାରେ ରୂପ ଦିଅ। ମୁଁ ତୁମଠାରୁ କୌଣସି ଆଶା କରୁନାହିଁ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ କହିଛି, ସେଇ ତଳକୁ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ତୁମେମାନେ ମୋର ପ୍ରକାଶ ଶକ୍ତି ହୁଅ। ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଆସିକିରି ମୁଁ ଯାହା ବୁଝିଛି, ମୋର ବୁଦ୍ଧି ଅନୁସାରେ ମୁଁ ଯାହା ଅନୁଭବ କରିଛି, ପଞ୍ଚଭୂତର ଶରୀର ପଞ୍ଚ ତନ୍ମାତ୍ରା କବଳରେ ପଡ଼ି ଏତେ କଷ୍ଟ ଅନୁଭବ କରୁଛି, ସେଇଟା ଆମ ଠାକୁର ସହ୍ୟ କରିପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି। କାରଣ ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ତୁମେ ମୋର ପିଲା। କୌଣସି ପିଲା ଯଦି କଷ୍ଟ ପାଏ, ତା ବାପା ମା କଦାପି ସେ ଦୁଃଖ ସହ୍ୟ କରିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ। ଠାକୁର ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଜନ୍ମ, ମୃତ୍ୟୁ, ଜରା, ବ୍ୟାଧି, ଏଇ 4ଟି ଜିନିଷ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ଯନ୍ତ୍ରଣା ଦେଉଛି। ତମମାନେ ମୋତେ ମୋତେ ପଠେଇଛନ୍ତି, ମୁଁ ଆସିଛି ତମମାନଙ୍କୁ ମୁକ୍ତି କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ତମେମାନେ ମୋତେ କିନ୍ତୁ ସଦ୍ଗୁରୁ ବୋଲି ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କର। ଯାହା ବି ହଉ, ମୋ ବୁଝିବାରେ ମୁଁ ଏଇଆ ବୁଝିଛି ଯେ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ କଥା ନେଇ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଚଳିବା, ତାହେଲେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଶାନ୍ତି ସୁଖର ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପରିସ୍ଥିତିରେ, ଭବିଷ୍ୟତକୁ କ'ଣ ହେବ ମୁକ୍ତି ହେବା, ଏବେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆନନ୍ଦରେ ରହିବା। ମୋ ଝିଅ ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ଦିନ ମୋତେ ପଚାରିଲା, ନନା ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ନାଁ କ'ଣ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି? ହଠାତ୍ ଏଇ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ମୋତେ ସେ ପଚାରିଲା। ସେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନଟା ଆଉ କେବଳ ମୋ ପାଇଁ, ସେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନଟା ତା ପାଇଁ ନଥିଲା। କାରଣ 6 ବର୍ଷର ପିଲାଟେ ଗୋଟେ 40 ବର୍ଷର ଲୋକକୁ ପଚାରୁଛି ଯେ ଠାକୁର କ'ଣ ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି? ଯେହେତୁ ମୁଁ ସଂଘରେ ରହିଲିଣି, ମୋ ମୁଣ୍ଡରେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡ଼େ ଜ୍ଞାନ ହେଇଗଲାଣି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତାକୁ ଗୁଡ଼ାଏ ବୁଝେଇଦେଲି। କିନ୍ତୁ ତାପରେ ମୋତେ ବାରମ୍ବାର ସେଇ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନଟା ମୋତେ ଏତେ କଷ୍ଟ ଦେଲା। କାହିଁକି କଷ୍ଟ ଦେଲା? ମୁଁ କଣ ଏତେ ସମୟ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସେବାରେ ରହି ଦିନ ରାତି ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ସେବାରେ ରହି ମୁଁ କଣ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଅନୁଭବ କରିପାରୁଛି କି ଠାକୁର ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି? କେବଳ ପଞ୍ଚପୂଜାର ପୂଜା ସମୟରେ, ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଭୋଗ ସମୟରେ, ରାତ୍ର ଭୋଗ ସମୟରେ, ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପୂଜା ସମୟରେ, ପ୍ରାତ ପୂଜା ସମୟରେ। ତାପରେ ମୁଁ ଆଉ କଣ ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଛି? ଏଇ କଥାଟା ମୋ ସପ୍ତାହ ହେଲା ମୋ ମନରେ ଚାଲିଛି। ମୁଁ କହିଲି ସିନା ମୁଁ ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆଟାକୁ ସିନା ଭଣ୍ଡେଇ ଦେଲି କଥା କହିକିରି, ମୁଁ କେତେ ନିଜକୁ ମୁଁ ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ କରିଛି। ଠାକୁର ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ସରଳତା, ବ୍ୟାକୁଳତା, ମାନେ ମନୁଷ୍ୟତା କହିଛନ୍ତି। ଆଜି ଗୋଟେ ସକାଳେ ପଢା ହଉଥିଲା ଯେ ସତ ଅଯୋଗ୍ୟତା ସତ୍ତ୍ୱେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ କୃପା ଉପରେ ନିର୍ଭର କରି, ମାନେ ମଣିଷ ଜାଣିପାରୁଛି ଯେ ମୋର ଯୋଗ୍ୟତା ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସେବା କରିବାର, କିନ୍ତୁ କି ଭାଷାରେ କୃତଜ୍ଞତା ମୁଁ ଦେବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଠାକୁରେ? ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ପରନିନ୍ଦା ପରଚର୍ଚ୍ଚା, ନିଜର ଅହଙ୍କାର, ଯଦି ବୈଷୟିକ ଦିଗରେ କୌଣସି କି ଜ୍ଞାନ ଗରିମା ଟିକେ ବହି ପଢି ହେଇଗଲା, ସବୁ ହେଲା ପରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ମୁଁ କାହାକୁ ମାନୁନି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ପ୍ରକୃତି ଆଡ଼ୁ ମାଡ଼ ଖାଉଛି, ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କାନ୍ଦୁଛି, ଆପଣଙ୍କ କଥା ନ ମାନିକି ଫେରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଯାଇ କାନ୍ଦୁଛି, ଆପଣ ଫେରେ ମତେ ବାରମ୍ବାର କହୁଛନ୍ତି କାନ୍ଦନା ଧନ ମୁଁ ପରା ଅଛି। ଆଠୁ ଆଉ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଭଳିଆ ଆଉ ମାନେ ବଡ଼ ଆଉ କିଏ ଅଛି ଠାକୁରେ? ଇଏ ଗଲା ମୋର କଥା କହିବାର ଏତିକି। ଗୋଟାଏ ଅନୁଭୂତି କଥା କହୁଛି। ଭାଇ ଯୋଉ କହୁଥିଲେ ନାମ କଥା କହୁଥିଲେ, ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ମୁଁ ଆସୁଥିଲି, 5-6ଟି କୁକୁର ହଠାତ୍ ମତେ ବୁଲା କୁକୁର ମତେ ଲାଗିଗଲେ କାମୁଡ଼ିବା ପାଇଁ। କାରଣ ଯେହେତୁ ମୁଁ ଶୁଣିଛି, ମୋ ମନରେ କେତେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ନାମ କଲେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଇଏ ହେଇଯିବ। ମୁଁ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ନାମ ନେଲି। କୁକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଘଉଡ଼ରେ ଥାଏ, କିନ୍ତୁ ନାମ ବି ନଉଥାଏ। କିନ୍ତୁ ନାମ ନେବା ସମୟରେ ମୁଁ ଅନୁଭବ କଲି ଯେ ସେ 5ଟି ଯାକ କୁକୁର ମୋ ଗୋଡ଼ ପାଖକୁ ଆସୁଥାନ୍ତି କାମୁଡ଼ିବାକୁ, ମତେ କିନ୍ତୁ କାମୁଡ଼ି ପାରୁନାହାନ୍ତି। ଏଇଟା ବି ମୋର ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ଅନୁଭୂତି ହିଁ ଥିଲା। ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଠାକୁର ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଏଇଟା ମୁଁ କେତେଥର ଅନୁଭବ ପାଇଛି ଏବଂ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଦିନ ବି ଅନୁଭବ କରୁଛି। ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟିଆ କଥା କହୁଛି, ମାନେ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ କଥା ଆପଣ ଜାଣିପାରିବେ। ଆଜି ବାହାର ଆସନରେ ଗୋଟେ ଧୋତି ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ପଠେଇବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏଇ AMSAS। ମୋର ମନେ ଥିଲା ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ମୋଟା ପାଢ଼ୀର ଧୋତିଟେ ହେଲେ ଟିକେ ଭଲ ଲାଗିବ। ଆପଣ ମାନେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିବେନି, ସେ ଧୋତିଟା ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ଲୁଚିକିରି ଥିଲା, ମୁଁ ହଠାତ୍ ଗଲି ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ସେଇ ଧୋତିଟାକୁ କାଢ଼ିଲି। ଏଇ ସବୁ କାମ କରୁଛି କିଏ? ସିଏ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଭାବିବି ମୁଁ ୟାକୁ ଖୋଜିକି କାଢ଼ିଦେଲି, ତାହେଲେ ମୋର କେବଳ ମୂର୍ଖାମି ବ୍ୟତୀତ ଆଉ କିଛି ନୁହଁ। ଠାକୁରେ ମତେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ମୁହୂର୍ତ୍ତରେ ଆପଣ ମତେ ଏତିକି ଅନୁଭୂତି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଯେ ମୋ ଦ୍ୱାରା କିଛି ହଉନି, ଆପଣ ସବୁ ମତେ କରଉଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଏତିକି କୃପା କରନ୍ତୁ, ଯୋଡ଼ିଏ ଜିନିଷ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଜି ମୁଁ ମାଗୁଛି, କାହାରି ପ୍ରତି ମୋର ବିଦ୍ୱେଷ ଭାବ ନ ଆସୁ, ଆଉ ସହିବାକୁ ଶକ୍ତି ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଠାକୁରେ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଏଇଟା ମୋର ରିକ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟ, ମାନେ ଅନୁରୋଧ କହୁଛି ଠାକୁରେ। ନହେଲେ ରହିବା ସଂଘରେ ରହିବା ଏତେ ସହଜ ସାଧ୍ୟ ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଠାକୁରେ, ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପାଇଁ ଆମର ପରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ପୂଜା ସରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି। ଠାକୁର ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପାଇଁ ବିଶ୍ରାମ ଘରକୁ, ଜୟଗୁରୁ କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ପରେ ଠାକୁର ବିଶ୍ରାମ ଘରକୁ ବିଜେ କରିବେ। ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଭୋଗ ଦିଆଯିବ, ଆଉ ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମାମାନଙ୍କୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ, ପ୍ରସାଦ ସେବନ କରିବେ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ। ଆଉ ଆଜିର ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟା ପୂଜା 6:30ରେ ସେବା ପୂଜା ସଂଘ ତରଫରୁ ମୋ ଉପରେ ଦିଆହେଇଛି। ଶ୍ରୀ ଶ୍ରୀ ଠାକୁର ମହାରାଜଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଛି, ଆଉ ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ମା ସାର୍ଥକ ଅଛି ଶିବାନୀ ମା?
ହଁ ମୁଁ ଅଛି। Jayaguru, I invite all, oh sorry, can I talk?
Yes.
Jayaguru, I invite all Adhibasas and young aspirants to next Sangha Puja to be held on March 15th. Jayaguru.
Satvak, invite Thakur also.
Oh, sorry. I also invite Thakura to the next Sangha Puja on March 15th.
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ମୁଁ ସାର୍ଥକ ଭାଇ ଈଶ୍ୱର ଭାଇ ଅଞ୍ଜନା ମାଙ୍କ ତରଫରୁ ସମସ୍ତ ଭକ୍ତ ଭାଇ ଓ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଆସନ୍ତା ସଂଘ ପୂଜା 15 ତାରିଖ ପାଇଁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ ଜଣାଉଛି। ଅଧିବାସ ପୂଜା ହବ 14 ତାରିଖରେ ଆଉ ପୂଜାଟିକୁ ଜଏନ କରି ସାଫଲ୍ୟମଣ୍ଡିତ କରିବେ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ। ଆଜିର ସଂଘ ପୂଜା ଶେଷ ହେବାକୁ ଯାଉଛି। ଆଜିର ପାଳିଆ ସାଲଭ ବିଜୁ ଭାଇ ଆଉ ମୋର ଥିଲା। ଆଜି ସଂଘ ପୂଜାରେ ଜାଣତରେ ଅଜାଣତରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ତ୍ରୁଟି ହେଇଥିବ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ, ଆଉ ସେଇ ତ୍ରୁଟି ପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଏବଂ ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କ୍ଷମା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ମାଗୁଛି। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
करे श्री चराणे बिना भिक्षा करे श्री चराणे बाबा कथा राखी थीबे मननी स्मरणे सब कथा राखी थीबे मननी स्मरणे बाहर के नाकारी सोचना बाहर की नकारी सोचना हरि विप्राथा जा स्वभाव माचना हरि विप्राथा जा स्वभाव मचना पर दोष खोजी बोली न थाइब मन पर दोष खोजी बोली न थाइब मन लागिथिबी सदा करी आत्म संशोधन प्रभु लागिथिबी सदा करी आत्म संशोधन बचने आलापे हेउ रसन संजता बचने आलापे हेउ रसन संजता घुंची जाऊ अवसद देहर जड़त प्रभु घुंची जाऊ अवसद देहर जड़त उचित भाषणे न हो किछि अंतराय उचित भाषणे न हो किछि अंतराय यथा कर्म हेउ चित्त सुधीर सहाय प्रभु यथा कर्म हेउ चित्त सुधीर सहाय निराळ स्वभावी तव आदेश पालना निराळ स्वभावी तव आदेश पालना करे जीवी हेउ तहि प्राणर सुरना प्रभु करे जीवी हेउ तहि प्राणर सुरना न मानिबे कहीं केउ बारण बंधना न मानिबे कहीं केउ बारण बंधना ଥାଇ ରହିଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ ପ୍ରଭୁ ଜହି ଥାଇ ରହିଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ ପ୍ରଭୁ ଜହି ଥାଇ ରହିଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ ପ୍ରଭୁ ଜହି ଥାଇ ରହିଥାଉ ତବ ପଦେ ମନ। জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 জয় গুরু
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু
Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai.
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 Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.
Jai Shri Thakur Maharaj ki.
Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ଗୋଟେ ଦୁଇଟା କଥା ଅଛି। ଜୟଗୁରୁ ପରିଚୟ ପତ୍ର ଆମର ସଭାପତି ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇ ଆଣୁଛନ୍ତି ଏବେ, ସେ ଫେରିବେ ମଙ୍ଗଳବାର ଦିନ ଆଣିକି ଆସିବେ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି ଆମର ପରିଚୟ ପତ୍ର ଆଉ ପ୍ରଶାସନର ସବୁ ଅନୁମତି ଆପ୍ଲିକେସନ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି, ଆପ୍ରୁଭ୍ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଆଉ ସେଟା ସବୁ ସେ ଆଣିକି ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ସେ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ସାଇନ୍ କରିକି ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ପଠାଇବେ। ତାପରେ ଆମର ପରିଚୟ ପତ୍ର ଗ୍ରହଣ ହେବ ଆମ ସଂଘରେ। ଆଉ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଜି ସବୁ ପଠେଇକି ଇମେଲରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆଡ୍ରେସ୍ ଭେରିଫିକେସନ ପାଇଁ, ଯୋଉଟାକି ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ ମେଲ୍ କରିବାକୁ। ତେଣୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ତ ଟିକେ ରିପ୍ଲାଏ ଦେବେ 2-3 ଦିନ ଭିତରେ, ଆଉ ହେଲେ ବ୍ରଜ ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ କହିବା ସେ ମେଲ୍ କରିବେ, ମେ ବି ବାଇ ଫ୍ରାଇଡେ ସାଟର୍ଡେ ଦ୍ୱାରା ପଠେଇଦେବେ। ତେଣୁ ଆପଣମାନେ ଦେଖିକି ସବୁ କହିବେ ଯାହାର ଆଡ୍ରେସ୍ କରେକ୍ସନ୍ ଅଛି ଜଣେଇ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ। ସେଟା ହେଲା ନମ୍ବର 1। ଆଉ ଅନୁପ ଭାଇ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କିଛି ଅଛି କହିବାକୁ?
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ ନା ଭାଇ କିଛି ନାହିଁ।
ଗୋଟେ ଆମର ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଉଛି ଆମର
ନେକ୍ସଟ ୱିକ୍ ଆମର ଟିକେ କହିବାର ଥିଲା କି ଆମର ନେକ୍ସଟ ୱିକ୍ ଇଂଲିଶ ସେକ୍ସନ ହବ, ତ ମା ଭାଇ ମାନେ ଟିକେ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ ରହିବେ, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ରିମାଇଣ୍ଡର।